Hello students, today we continuation that is environmental issues, that is water pollution and its control and all. How the water pollution, it must be causes and all. Because of either in the form of biological, chemical, physical, these three different types of these causes, these pollutions and all, water pollution and all. That is biological, related to whenever contamination of pathogens, biological microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, fungus, nematode, such protozoan, such type of organisms, if it is contaminated, then it may be causes biological water pollution. Such type of biological water pollution, it may be causes different types of the diseases like dysentery, typhoid, cholera, jaundice, such type of different types of diseases if you drink contaminated water and all. Then along with this one, it may be possible for chemical and all, either biological like microorganisms, like chemical type of water pollution, different types of either organic as well as inorganic. What are the organic chemicals? That is related to organic in that sense in the form of DDT or BHC, or related to different types of the organic chemicals like different types of the fertilizers by using of this one. Then apart from this one, inorganic means different types of the metals from metallic industry, metallurgic industry or automobiles or different types of these things. It is also causes to the inorganic one. Inorganic means like mercury, cadmium, arsenic, copper, lead, such type of inorganic one. If it is persistent, if it is present inside that water, it may be causes to the water pollution. What is the main sources? Either industries, either related to domestic seaways. These particular things and all. Then apart from this one, physical, like temperature, some of these water bodies, some thermal effluents, if it is discharged to the water bodies, normally it is a very cool normal temperature. If it is increased the temperature, some of the organisms, it may be causes thermal pollution, water bodies and all. Some of the organisms unable to habitate such type of environmental polluted of the water and all. For example, salmon fish unable to hatch in such type of the hot water and all. Then it migrate and all. Such type of things. Apart from this one, oil spills. While transportation of the petroleum goods in that seawater and all, if it is some amount of the leakaging of this oil, it spreads several 100 kilometers and all. It is also some maximum disturbance of aquatic organisms and all. So, in physical related to water, hot water, that means thermal, or related to oil spills and all. In chemical, organic, inorganic, biological, different types of harmful microorganisms and all. So like this, but what is the major causes? These are different types. What are the major causes of this one? Like domestic sewage. Suppose while washing either clothes, by using of detergents, by applying of fertilizers, or regarding related to all these things, as well as industrious, after industrial effluents, while discharging to the river, lakes, as well as estuaries in the seawater. So all these water bodies, whenever discharging all these effluents and all, then it may be causes to the pollutions and all. Such type of polluted water bodies, it is unable to, that means reduce the dissolving capacity of that specific type of the oxygen percentage. Normally in atmospheric bodies, normally 20.79 or 98, like that averagely 21% of oxygen present, it is not a difficult and all. Whereas in aquatic, whatever water bodies, the percentage of oxygen will be very, very less. That means less than 10% only. If it is such type of industrial effluents, such type of fertilizers, such type of domestic sewage, if it is discharge, if it is enter or detergent, all these one, then regarding related to the dissolving of the oxygen percentage, still it will be diminished, still it will be decreases and all. Then maximum effect on the aquatic organism. That is important and all. In this one, then in our government, the Water Pollution Prevention, that Control Act and all, when they implemented Prevention Control Act in 1974, already we said Air Pollution Prevention Control Act 1981, then related to noise pollution including air and all 1987, then Water Pollution Prevention Act 1974. According to this one, whatever discharging, either effluents, either sewage, domestic sewage and all, before that one it must filter, then only it must be discharged and all. Then little bit it must be reduces and all, or there may be possible for recycling. If it is possible recycling, then it must be utilized for recycling process. Suppose if it is any thermal plants, then if it is present maximum temperature, it must be cool before discharging regarding related to the normal atmospheric conditions and all. Then only it must be discharging. Then only it must be releasing and all. Such type of aspects normally it must be takes place and all. That is regarding related to most important characteristic features and all. Then only it must be controlling little amount of the specific type of the pollution, water pollution and all. Different types of these water pollution bodies and all. Then in this water pollution, then sewage discharge as well as industrial effluents and all. That is domestic sewage and industrial effluents. That is one among the important causes. Another cause is eutrophication, excessive utilization of fertilizers. Then it must be run off. Whatever utilizing in the plants and at the time of water, at the time of rain, it must be flowing away. It must be float away. Whenever flowing, it enter into the water bodies, then increase the nutrient value, especially nitrogen, phosphorus. It is very difficult to separate and all. Whenever increase nitrogen, phosphorus and all, then it may be causes to the eutrophication. Then also it is ready to decrease the aquatic organisms and all. In this one, domestic sewage. Why? Because each and every activity for human beings, it must be required for water and all. Either eating, either digestion, either cleaning, either washing, either bathing, all, each and every activity. Then it enters into the two. Finally, the domestic sewage, either cities, either rural area, whatever it may be, finally it enters into the either river, either into the stream, either into the estuaries, either into the lakes. Anyone, whatever adjacent nearby this one, there it enters and all. Then what is the harmful effect if it enter that one, the specific and all. So that is very important. That graphical, that is that it must be flowing towards this direction and all. That flowing the direction flow in this axis. Here that concentration, whenever discharge effluents, discharge either sewage or effluents, whenever discharge in that water bodies, then if it is concentration, if it is increases, so exam point of view, it is most important. Whenever increase the concentration of that specific the pollutants, either sewage or industrial effluents to the normal cooled or cleaned water bodies center, then what happened? This is the dotted lines represent increase the concentration. Whenever increase the concentration, the dotted line represent increase the concentration. Whenever increase the concentration, what happens? The specific aquatic organism, it must be killed, it must be damaged. Here, what happens? Then the aquatic organisms are killed or damaged or destroyed. Whenever increase this one, why it will be destroyed, why it will be killed? Gradually, that specific water bodies dissolving oxygen becomes reduces at all. Why? Because the dissolving oxygen, it reduces. Here it represents dissolving oxygen reduced. Whenever dissolving oxygen reduced, if it is increased, the specific aquatic organism like fishes and it must be killed. The dissolving oxygen will be reduced. Whenever dissolving oxygen will be, why it will be reduced and then automatically it enhances to the biochemical oxygen demand. It increases biochemical oxygen demand. Then it will lead to increase, that is important, biochemical oxygen demand. When biochemical oxygen demand will be increases, whenever increase the concentration of effluents. Then similarly, the normal line, whenever reduce the concentration, what happens? Vice versa. Here, dissolving oxygen increases, whereas biochemical oxygen demand decreases. Here, reappearance of the aquatic organisms. The dotted line represents increase the concentration of any type of that particular pollutants and then dissolving of oxygen will be reduced because of increased biochemical oxygen demand. Similarly, whenever reduce that specific industrial effluents and or domestic sewage and in that water bodies and then automatically dissolving oxygen it becomes increases, then automatically it reduces. Vice versa, biochemical oxygen demand will be the decreases, then automatically reappearance of aquatic organism. So this specific graphical, it is most important. If it is increased, what happen? If it is decreased, what happen? That you must remember and all in that specific activity and all. Then apart from this one, in this biochemical, along with this one, then another very important related to eutrophication or whenever the nitrogen and phosphates, if it is enter into that particular water bodies and all, then what happen? Automatically it may be causes to the maximum nutrients into that specific water body. Then it may be causes algal bloom. Then it may be causes to the algal bloom. Why it is algal bloom? If it is utilized maximum amount of phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, such type of the fertilizers and it will be run off that specific type of the soil to the water bodies. Then increase the fertility. Whenever increase, automatically the organisms also increases. Then it may be causes to the algal bloom and all. Normally, that the spirogyra, whenever increase the surface of the water body, immediately increase the biochemical oxygen demand. Then another very important, terror of Royal Bengal tiger, or regarding related to terror of Royal, or related to Bengal. Terror of Bengal, one type of the aquatic plant, that is Icornia, for aesthetic, for joy purpose, such type of the flowers, while it acts as a very important weed plants and all. It reduces the oxygen dissolving of the specific water bodies. That's why it represents the terror of Bengal and all. Icornia. Apart from this one, Icornia, High cornea also one among the important characteristic features of this one, reduce oxygen dissolving into the water bodies and all. In this, suppose 99.9% is normal, 0.1% only it is not at all. It must be related to polluted and all. It is not suitable for human usage and all. 0.1% of any pollutants into the aquatic bodies, it is unable to taking of human purpose and all, human utilization and all. In that 0.1% like dissolved, in that one dissolved materials as well as colloidal materials, dissolved materials, then solid substances. What are the dissolved one? It will be present either ammonia, it will be present like phosphate, like sodium, as well as calcium. These different types of the dissolved material, but it is invisible. Whether it look like the water becomes into the very pure, look like a purity, but inside it will be present. If you drink, then it may be causes different types of the diseases and all. Then colloidal particles like bacteria, fecal matter, as well as bacteria and related to the paper fibers. It is also present in the as well as cloths. But these paper fibers and fecal matter, it was still identified and all. But dissolved, it is not at all identified. Such type of water bodies, it is not at all possible to take different activities, human activities and all. Solid substances like clay, as well as silt, as well as sand. These particles are solid substances. That means 0.1% it becomes into the polluted. Such type of substances are present. Even though 99.9% will be the pure, but 0.1% it is not suitable for human usage and all. But apart from this one, industrial effluents. It is domestical sewage and all. Industrial effluents. If it is industrial effluents like metallurgic industries as well as automobiles and are different types of the thermal effluents and such type of industries or chemical industries or different types of these industries and then it releases very dangerous, that means high toxic metals. It must be releases on the water bodies and all. High metallic means more than 5 grams per cubic centimeter. So more than 5 grams per cubic centimeter. More than 5 grams of cubic centimeter, that is the heavy metals like mercury, like cadmium, such type of this one, like copper, or such type of these things, it may be causes also, diseases also. Then in 1947, with the help of the high metals, at Japan, while taking of cadmium, through cadmium deposited to the any type of the aquatic bodies, such type of aquatic organism, if it eats and then it may be causes to that etoid disease and all. These are the major abnormality to destruction of the kidneys, liver. Apart from this one, then deformation of the related to, it may be affected on the skeletal system. It affected on the skeletal system. Similarly, 1952, the same Japan area, the mercury containing of fishes, whomever that specific human beings are eaten, that mercury containing of the fishes and then it may be causes minimata. That means this minimata in that sense, it must be reduce our sensitivity. Reduction of this one, loss of sensitivity, either odor, either regarding related to taste or different types of sensory parts and all, which one can impairment of sensitive organs and all. Related to the minimata, such type of, suppose in copper containing of material, if it is eaten, then it may be causes irritation, that hypertension, then lead containing. Lead containing means it is also causes to the destruction of the either kidneys, either liver, or such type of these organs ready to damage and all. Or some other one, fluorine containing of water. Some of the areas are present, many parts of in our country, some of the areas are present fluorine containing of water. When that water becomes into the very purified and all, then purified means 0. Related to fluorine and all, 0.5 to 0.8 milligrams per liter related to the fluorine. That much containing of fluorine present, it may be causes fluorosis. That means deformation of the bones and all. When each and every water body, little amount of fluorine is there. But if it is contained 0.5 to 0.8 milligrams in that liter of the water and all, then it may be causes fluorosis. That means deformation of the bones and all. Then what is the normal amount? 0.5 to 0.8 parts per million per liter. In this percentage of the fluorine, it is healthier one. It is healthier one, it is the affected one and all. But some of these specific type of the organic material, the biocides and all, then it never be excreted from one trophic level to another. While eating food material, it never be completely digested. It never be completely absorbed in that trophic level, in that food chain. Instead of excretion, it must be increased concentration from one trophic level to another trophic level. That increase the concentration, any one specific that chemical, biocide chemical and all, from 1 to that peak level, peak trophic level, if it is increased its concentration, that increase, that specific type of concentration scientifically we called as bio-magnification. Normally, what type of things normally we observe into this bio-magnification and all? The bio-magnification, normally we observe either mercury as well as DDT, mercury or DDT and all. Bio-magnification, either DDT as well as mercury and all. This increases and all. Normally, what is the percentage of DDT is present and all? In the water bodies, it is present 0.03 parts per billion. In water bodies, wherever in a space in that surrounding and biocides, if it is discharged and normal water bodies, this much concentration present and then whenever entering of phytoplankton, that is 0.003 parts per billion in that phytoplankton. So normally it is very close interlinked into the food chain. That means T1 to up to peak level and all. Then 0.04 parts per billion, that is zooplankton. Then 0.5 parts per million, that is the small fishes. Then 2 parts per million into the large fishes. Then 25 parts per million, then fish eating birds. Fish eating birds, like that the concentration gradually increases. What is the water bodies? The concentration level under 0.003. But according to this we have here from water body to here. But they did not mention this one. For understanding purpose, I represented, even though here billion is there, here billion is there. While entering of here to there, little bit increase the concentration. Why? Because zooplankton it must take. Why? Because phytoplankton was eaten by the zooplankton. Zooplankton eaten by the this one. According to food level. Fish eating bird. Example of fish eating bird, that is seagull. It is name of the bird. While increasing, what is the harmful effect? Why it is increased its concentration? It never be excrete that specific type of DDT and all. That's why it increased in its concentration. What is the harmful effect of this seagull and all? It may be a harmful effect in its calcium formation. It is a deformation of the calcium, majorly affected on the calcium and all. Whenever deformation of calcium in its one, automatically such type of the birds, very thin layer of calcium containing of eggs it must be laying. Whenever thin laying of calcium, that surrounding of eggs and all, premature death, gradually gradually it may be causes extinction of the species and all. That much harmful effect. Then another very important one and related to eutrophication. Eutrophication, that is just now I said, related to either voluntarily, either anthropogenic, naturally one lake converts into the forest area, it becomes several thousand years and all. But related to acute, voluntarily, that acute, it becomes into this specific type of this eutrophication, acute eutrophication. Then within a century, it completely converted, it completely destroys that specific water bodies and all, because of it entering maximum amount of that certain type of the nutrients and all, like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all these and all. Whenever eutrophication, then ponds come. Ponds come in that sense, spirogyra, algae. It may be, it increase this one. Then later, after maximum organic matter, it settlement the bottom of that water bodies and all. Maximum many years, if it is present continuously, then what happens? The larger type of trees it develops and all. Then completely it erupted and all. Completely disappearance, specific type of the lakes and all. Lack of availability of certain type of the oxygen in the specific environmental conditions and all. Then apart from this one, in this eutrophication regarding related to maximum number of the aquatic organisms, it is ready to diminish, ready to destroy and all, because of lack of availability of oxygen. But then how can we know why? Because aquatic water bodies, the color also it will be changed, the odor also it will be changed, both the color as well as odor frequently it will be changes and all. Such type of water bodies. Then apart from this one, another very important, how can you identify what is the indicator of the water pollution? One among the annelid organism, cubifex. Even though maximum concentration, it is ready to withstand, it ready to cooperate, it ready to persistent. Even more than that concentration, then unable to survival, unable to habitat that specific environmental under. What is the chief indicator of air pollution? Lichens. What is the chief indicator of water pollution? Tubifex. What type of the annelid organism under? In that annelida, such type of organism may not be present. Yes, such water bodies it becomes into the maximum polluted area and all. Then what is the remedy? What is the alternative methods? One among the case study here they mentioned and all. In that Humboldt University, which are located in Germany and all, some of the scientists they get together as a friends and all. That means in a specific environmental condition like Arcata. That means that is important. In case study related to controlling of water pollution and in Arcata, friends of Arcata in marsh and all. So whatever effluents, whatever sewage before discharging to the normal water bodies and all, they get together, recycled to the waste materials and all, recycled to the waste material. In that Arcata area, in that Humboldt University, some of these get together, then they must be done regarding related to whatever industrial effluents, whatever sewage and all, before it must be recycled and all. They must be done into the recycled of wastages. That wastage, organic as well as inorganic material and all. That means recycling. In that one, the marshes, some of the fields they selected, whatever wastages and all, they must be settled in that specific environmental condition. They are little bit filtered, they are little bit recycled. Then after that specific soils are suitable, some of the crop plants and all. Like that, again, it must be reusage regarding related to the normal crop plants also. Some of the marsh plants, marsh area, in such type of plants also they must be grown. It is also one among the controlling of air pollution. That means how to controlling of air pollution, afforestation. The maximum, the causes of air pollution, deforestation. The prevention methods, that means controlling methods, is the afforestation. Here also to development of the plants, that means settlement of the whatever the effluents are there. First it must be settlement, then inactively, that means actively implementation. First there must be settlement, then active implementation. That means further growth and development of the suitable environmental condition of the croplands and all. That is one among the best method. Another method, the eco-sanitarization, eco-friendly, ecologically sanitization of the toilets and all. That means bio-toilets, eco-sanitized toilets and all. Now at present, that means according to 2005, nearly more than 200 eco-sanitized toilets or bio-toilets are placed in our country. Some of the states under, that means Kerala, maximum utilized under, another country like Sri Lanka. Here, normal toilets normally it will be utilized below the soil under. But these toilets are, it must be constructed beyond this soil under. In this beyond this soil, here without using of any type of the specific type of the water bodies. Separate it will be present in the there. Whenever it must be constructed with the help of the normal woods and all. In that sea dust, that means the sawdust, regarding related to sawdust as well as limestone, along with the human fecal matter. But this fecal matter, again it must be recycled and all. So instead of using of chemical fertilizers, why? Because if you use chemical fertilizers, it may be causes to the one among the important eutrophication. Again, aquatic organism, it may be causes gradual destroying, damaging, or maximum weed plants are developed and all. Similarly, that instead of chemical fertilizers, one can be used to the bio-fertilizers in the form of the fecal matter of human being by using of ecological sanitarizer, that means bio-toilets and all. It must be recycling that bio-fertilizers and all, different types of the crop plants instead of using of chemical fertilizers and all. There is also one among the best technique, but still it must be developing and all. Whenever it completely developed and all, the maximum reduction regarding related to specific type of the normal and all. But without adding 1 or 2 drops of water in that one, then only it is possible. Otherwise, it may be causes to the bad odor. Again, it is very difficult manner and all. Very carefully, it must be maintaining that ecologically sanitary while utilizing of the bio fertilizers instead of using of chemical fertilizers and all. So that is very most important regarding related to that specific type of, especially industrial waste. Before discharging, it must be filtered, either any type of this one or related to sewage. The less amount of utilization, not maximum excessively and all. Whatever required, whatever necessary, that much only it must be utilizing and all. Then only it is possible to controlling of the water pollution. Why? Because each and every activity, not only human being but also all living organisms including plants, water acts as a very crucial role. In one among the air pollution, excessive amount of sulfur, it may be causes of acidic rains. It is also harmful effect of that specific type of the plants. Whatever the plants, if it is soil becomes into the acidity, it is not possible to growth and development of plants. Automatically global warming. That means less amount of oxygen, then less the percentage growth and development of the plant bodies and all. Okay, that is. So remaining we discuss in next class and all.